People only experience wonders in their lives. Only in the movies do you break it up into these in montage. Close up, close up, close up, wide shot, close up. Sometimes wonders is actually better for the audience because they can relate to a wonder because intuitively and subconsciously, we all live in the wonder.
If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
We know the Steven Spielberg tropes. We know the wonders and the close-up shots. Given that this is 50 years almost since Close Encounter, is there something that maybe was subconscious bubbling over in you that you got to do in this film, shot-wise, scene-wise, that you've never done before?
Well, you know something, I've made so many movies for so many years that there's a lot that I have done before. But I've never made a movie, a science fiction movie, that I made from my own belief system that this was not science fiction, that this was something that was about the truth. A movie about the unknown being known by some, but not by all, and the injustice of all not knowing when we should know what's really going on here and has been going on for 8 decades. And so I had a lot of inspiration from just what people have been seeing in the skies day and night and what people have been reporting that's been happening to them in an unearthly way.
See, now I have to follow up because we do see a little tease of how the alien looks. So when you are crafting the aliens and how they are going to look in your film, are you drawing a lot from what's been reported? Are you drawing from imagination? How did you craft them?
I'm drawing completely from what's been reported, not from the imagination, because there's a consistency about what's been reported. From the very first people, Betty and Barney Hill, who had been allegedly, they had been abducted, and the incident in Pascagoula, and so many different encounters involving abductions have described the same species of non-human off-world entity. And I didn't want to suddenly create some kind of a newfangled alien with 3 heads that we've never heard or seen of before.
Mr. Colman Domingo, sir, there is a moment where you pull your glasses down and you get the Steven Spielberg face, the close-up treatment. And I was wondering,
What's that?
how did that feel knowing you were getting that Steven Spielberg face?
I just knew that it was an opportunity. I knew that emotionally, I knew that Steven, he loves to get in there in your face in a beautiful way with that lens. And I really just knew that it was an opportunity to reveal a bit more of Hugo's emotion and what was going on. And I didn't want to bury her with the eyes.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I talked about the tropes, and it could have been so easy for you just to do wonders for the action sequences, but there's a wonder with Emily.
It's stunning, isn't it?
What went into that choice, and if you could just sort of break down a little bit of filming that scene?
I said to Emily, would you consider doing this all in one run? For about 3.5, 4 minutes, because I think she would be able to build up a head of steam if she didn't have to get to a certain point in the scene and then I stop her because I'm not going to use anything from that angle, and I have to change setups and relight. And I said, would it feel better if you just knock this out like real life? Because in real life we do wonders every day. Every day we are interacting with our colleagues in our jobs or with our families. It's always a wonder. People only experience wonders in their lives. Only in the movies do you break it up into these in montage. Close up, close up, close up, wide shot, close up. Sometimes wonders is actually better for the audience because they can relate to a wonder because intuitively and subconsciously we all live in the wonder.
And we just had a wonder real quick before they wrap me. Do you feel like your character is a little bit Steven Spielberg coded? The man that everybody loves that wants the truth out there? Was there a little bit of Steven Spielberg?
I wish.
I feel maybe a little bit of a twinkle, just a little bit.
I wish.
I feel a little bit. I think
That's nice.
I think someone who is a leader who has a lot of hope and wishes for humanity to come together, and does it with whatever he has. He's assembling a lot of things in the film. I think that's a lot like Steven as well.
Real quick before before we dive into this magnificent movie, I know you've seen Jaws 32 times. It's
Yep.
your seminal Spielberg movie. Favorite Jaws moment? I just rewatched it, so it's fresh.
Okay, my favorite Jaws moment?
Yes.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, it has to be when Shaw comes in and just wipes the floor with that Indianapolis speech. I've seen it endless times. I just think it's extraordinary.
And what is your seminal Steven Spielberg film? I'll keep it general.
Good one.
Well, I don't know. Oh my goodness. There are so many, and I could say E.T., I could say Close Encounters, I could say Hook,
Jurassic
I could
Park.
say Jurassic Park. Really, truly, all of those films. Are,
Heard of them.
Terminal
Heard of them.
2, like, I also really...
That was a good one. I
Terminal's
like
good.
that. You snuck that one in there. I
Yeah.
didn't expect that one.
Yeah.
I know everybody's asking about the clicking, but I find it really interesting that that was your first day that you were shooting
Yes.
with the Steven Spielberg. What was on the cutting room floor? Was there a most embarrassing sound you came up with before
Oh,
the
I think
clicking?
endless strange throat gurgles that probably sounded like burps that like really shouldn't make it into the equation. I did some very low Barry White singing that didn't, I'm sure that didn't make it in. We did so many
White singing.
sounds.
I
Did it
would
really?
love
Did
to
you
hear
really?
that cut.
So many
Josh is
sounds.
asking for it now.
Yeah, I want.
It was really just low humming, as low as I could go.
Yeah,
It was like what's that game where you have to go, how low can you go? And you go under that thing. That's what it felt like.
yeah.
The limbo.
The
Is it
limbo.
limbo? I
That's
was a
it.
limbo
It was the
champion,
limbo
just so you know.
Or
notes,
vocal.
of vocal.
I'm just going to follow up real quick. What preceded it? I don't know how much you can say about it, but it's a oneer that he's known for his oneers.
Yeah.
But it's usually an action sequence. But I
Yes.
found it really interesting. Was that in the pantheon of your career one of the most challenging scenes you've ever done? And how I don't know how much you can say about it.
Honestly,
without
I was
spoiling
just
it.
so excited to do it. There is this extraordinary oneer that Stephen came up with where Margaret is racing to get to work and she's very late, but she is also starting to unravel and disintegrate with these newfound abilities that have sort of ambushed her entire system and are kind of out of her control. So he wanted to show the chaos of that, the
Yeah.
internal chaos of that, and I think for him to just stay with her the whole time and not cut away, that the whole thing felt like a whirlwind, and for me it was so exciting. Because you're kind of like, it's like this storm brewing that leads all the way up to her doing the alien language for the first time, and I
Yes.
genuinely was shaking, out of breath, and it was just so wonderful to work that way.
Wow. And for you, obviously I'm going to compare you to Tom Cruise now because now you've done an action movie with
Every
her.
day of his life. Right? Who
Not the
doesn't?
first. No, you actually are.
If you could juxtapose for me, because I just sort of like maybe the action moment that you're most proud of, but also juxtapose it with this beautiful moment between the two of you on the train where you hug her. And I thought that was just such an incredible acting moment between the two
That
of
was
you.
that was one of my favourite days on the shoot. It was in the script that there was kind of a feeling of overwhelm after that sequence. But Emily showed up that day, and it was incredible. It was like she showed everything that you would imagine you'd feel. We're so used to going and seeing action movies, and they do these crazy sequences, and they're kind of barely out of breath, which is also very cool.
And they sometimes look at each other and go, whoa.
Whoa, that was crazy. But Emily was so in it, and it felt so real. And ultimately, Margaret and Daniel are the audience, the sort of everyday human who have just found themselves in this situation, and it's snowballing. And
But he
to
understands her.
Yeah, and there's
That
not
moment.
really many moments in the movie where they connect like siblings, which is something that we really wanted, and Stephen really wanted. So, yeah, that sequence
So
is incredible.
special doing that.
Yeah, real quick, out of town, how did he do compared to Tom?
With the action?
Yeah.
Oh, he left Tom in the dust.
Yeah. He's been calling me.
Yeah, he's been calling you saying, please stop
Yeah.
trying to end my career.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.